Hello, my name is Carl Pauline and thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of my Productivity Mastery series. This week I want to explain to you the reasons why I have stopped organizing my to-dos using the David Allen Getting Things Done system, or GTD as most people in the productivity world like to call it. Now, the reason I have moved away is simply because over the last few years I have noticed that I don't actually use a lot of what builds or makes GTD what it is. Now, for those of you who don't know, Getting Things Done essentially runs on the principle that you can only do your tasks if you're with the right person, in the right place, with the right tool. So it's people, place and tool. And in order to do that, you create lists based on context, based on where you are, what kind of tool you want, what kind of person you need to be with, or which kind of place you want to be. So for example, if you have a task that you can only do on your computer, you would assign it to the list computer. If you've got a task that you can only do at the hardware store, you would add that as the location context of hardware store. And if you've got a task that you can only do when you're talking with your partner, then you would assign that to the list related to your partner. So essentially one of the things I've actually found quite funny is people say, what do I do with my project list? Well, you don't really actually work from project lists in Todoist. You work from the context lists, which are people, place and location. Now the thing is, so I started using GTD way back in 2009, and back then I'd only just got my iPhone. We weren't, the technology wasn't quite there. It was possible to do email from your phone, but it was more difficult, so it was much easier to do email from your computer. Likewise, there was like writing a report, for example, was much easier to be done on a computer. So context made sense back then. Today, however, I find context make no sense at all, simply because although there are times that I may need to do a task needs a person, I can quickly send them an instant message, I could send them a quick email, and most people will reply to email very quickly. I can make a phone call. Another one that I found that the context didn't work for me was like writing. Now writing, for example, I can write a blog post and often do start writing a blog post on my phone whilst on the bus. So I don't need a computer to write. I can write pretty much anywhere, anytime. And so over the last year or two, I noticed that I had stopped using context. But then when I did my review at the end of last year, I discovered something else. I don't use projects. Now, I do have projects, most people do. For example, making a new online course, updating an online course, even creating this content every week, technically in GTD world would be considered a project. There is more than one step involved, but I never set them up as projects. I just found the time that I was going to be able to do the recording, allocated that on my calendar, and had a task that said record YouTube videos, or record new course, or outline details for new course. Those kind of tasks. I didn't need all that contained within a project. What I did need, and what I was using though, was time-based context, if you like, time-based projects. So as I was discovering this and as I was thinking about this, I realized actually at the end of the day, GTD doesn't work for me in 2020. Technology has moved on. When the book was originally written in 2001, it made sense. A lot of the stuff that we do every day needed certain tools, needed us to be in a certain place, and needed us to be with a certain person. Today, that's not strictly true anymore, and we can easily allocate time on our calendars. A lot of meetings, for example, that I take part in now are not done in an office. They're done remotely. I'm on a computer. I'm basically using Zoom communication video software, and I use that. I don't actually even have to be in a physical place for a meeting anymore. So for me, I found that GTD has outlived its purpose. It's a little bit out of date, just in my personal opinion. I'm not suggesting for one moment that those of you out there who do get a lot of value out of GTD and it does work for you, then by all means stick with it. But just for me, it no longer works. I find that contexts are just useless for me, and even projects, a project list, for example, just doesn't work anymore. I am much better suited to time-based folders that tell me when I need to do a task or even when I want to do a task, and that has worked very well for me. Now, if you're interested in what my new system looks like, I did a video earlier this week how I'm set it all up in Todoist, and you can see that up there, or if it's not up there, it's certainly in the show notes, so you can click on that and to have a look at my new system. And for those of you in the Apple system, I've also done a video on how to set this up using Apple's reminders, because it works just as well there. Hopefully you'll get some value out of it. Hopefully it will help you to become a lot more productive. But if it doesn't, then stick with your own system. This is all about developing a system that works for you, not necessarily a system that works for me, that will work for you. You just have to find out the best way for you. That's what productivity is all about, is finding the right way to make you much more productive. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Thank you very much for watching this video. Now have I got something special to tell you about. The Time and Life Mastery version 3 course has launched. Now this course is transformative. It will transform your life. If you find that your life is drifting from one day to the next and that you feel that you're not actually achieving your goals, then this course is going to show you how to change that. It's going to show you how to identify what is truly important to you. It's going to show you how to find what it is you want out of life, and then show you the steps that you need to take in order to get there. This course is amazing. The feedback I've got from versions 1 and version 2 have just been tremendous. It has helped so many people, and I want this opportunity to tell you that it can do the same for you. I hope you will take a look at the course, have a go, take the course, and start transforming your life today. This course will do that for you. Take a look, get yourself enrolled, and hopefully I'll see you in the course.